Moving on, the 2021 season previews, we have the Colorado Avalanche. And depending on who you ask, this Colorado Avalanche team could be your 2021 Stanley Cup champion. Now, there's still some things going on with them. They really don't need to make much GM moves. They did make some, but not a ton. And these pieces that they made, these moves that they made, could get them over the hump. Here's what can happen in the 2020-21 season for the Colorado Avalanche from Nordic 97's perspective. First off, if you're a Colorado Avalanche fan, welcome. Glad you're here. And if you haven't already, please go subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would mean a heck of a lot to me. You know, we're trying to grind on this, trying to get to 700 subscribers by June of 2021. That would be unbelievable if we can make it there. And, you know, I'm really just trying to make content, trying to someday get it to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, etc. until I get to the end. And maybe someday, make money off of it. That's kind of a childhood dream, though. I don't expect that to happen. But, you know, one sub could really help me out with that. And also, if you haven't already, please go check out the links in the description below, which includes my Twitter, my Instagram, my Discord, and my TikTok. Yes, sir, I do TikTok. So, or ma'am. Yeah, I do TikTok on there. I do Discord. I do Instagram and Twitter as well. So if you want to hit me up on any of the social medias, we can have a nice hockey conversation. And yeah, anyways, let's get into the Colorado Avalanche and what happened last season. Now, last season, the Colorado Avalanche were a pretty good team. I mean, they were decent. Just kidding. They were the third best team in the NHL. They had 70 games played in a shortened season, of course. 42 wins, 20 losses, and 8 overtimes for a total of 92 points. They were third in the NHL, just behind the St. Louis Blues and the Boston Bruins, ironically. So they beat Arizona in the first round in 5 games, and it, honestly, as an Arizona Coyotes fan, as you all know myself, why are you yawning, is very, just got me triggered. I mean, like, I knew we were going to lose to Colorado, but the way we went out really made me mad. So, you know, I was kind of rooting for Dallas heading into the second round. And you know what? Dallas clutched up and won. So they lost to the Dallas Stars in the second round in 7 games. A very fair, close series. That was probably one of the best playoff series I've ever seen. And that beats, like, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh in 2018. And many other playoff series that I've watched in full aspects. So, like, you know, that series had hard hits. That series had comeback after comeback after comeback. Especially in that Game 7. You know, that was a very entertaining series. So, I will give it to Colorado. They definitely put up a fight against Dallas. And, you know, they looking like a team that can do a Stanley Cup. But they did lose some people. And by some people, I only mean 2. Nikita Zadorov was one of the ones that headed off to Chicago in that Brandon Saad trade, like we previewed a few hours ago. I mean, like, you're going to see this a few hours from now. And they also got rid of Vladislav Nemestikov, which really wasn't surprising in all honesty. Nemestikov kind of needed to go. And really, those 2 things don't really hurt them. I mean, Nikita Zadorov is a very hard hitter. I think that the Zadorov part may hurt Colorado's physicality a little bit in some aspects. But no matter what, they're still a really good team without these 2 players. And I mean, they replaced them pretty well, too. They got the exact same players from the exact same positions in their key arrivals. In the key arrivals category, who did they get? So they got defenseman Devon Toews. And honestly, they should be really proud of this. I'm really proud of Colorado for getting this trade. They got him from the New York Islanders. This was a great player to get. Devon Toews showed this season he can be a very solid top pairing defender. Well, not top pairing, but like, you know, second, third pairing defender. And he can really put up the numbers in Colorado there. And I think he's really going to do that successfully. He's really shown the offense. He's really shown the commitment. I remember his first goal was in overtime. I think it was against the Rangers or the Devils. It was one of those teams. It was like a team with orange. It wasn't the Philadelphia Flyers or the Islanders. You know what I mean? So, you know, Toews, I remember when he scored his first goal back in 2018-19. That was amazing. I remember first hearing about this kid, and I was like, you know what, this kid sounds kind of cool. Maybe I'll follow him. And, you know, I did follow him throughout his career, and he's a very interesting and very fun player to watch. They also acquired Brandon Saad, Nikita Zadorov trade. This is also an interesting one because Brandon Saad brings that, you know, that veteran presence. He still puts up not too bad amount of points. And he's a solid third line player who will replace Vladislav Nemestikov in those aspects in those areas. So, anyways, let's get into the offensive projected lineups for your Colorado Avalanche. So on the offensive side of projected lineups here, it looks like a very stacked team. So on the first line of that side of the left wing, you have Gabriel Landeskog starting off there, no surprise. Brandon Saad, JT Comfort, Matt Calvert, and Salamaki as your fill-in guy. Then on your center core, you have Nathan MacKinnon, Nazem Kadri, Pierre Bellemare, Tyson Jost, and Josh Dickinson and Shane Bowers as your fill-in players. Then on the right wing side, you have Mikko Rantanen, Andre Burakovsky, Valery Nichushkin, and then Donskoy, and then Kotz as your fill-in. I probably said Kott wrong, but you know what I mean. So, that offense looks pretty good. A Landeskog, McKinnon, and Rantanen line. That looks like a very good first line. A Saad, Kadri, and Burakovsky line. That looks pretty solid as well. A Comfort, Bellemare, Nichushkin line. Nichushkin's a pretty hard hitter. Bellemare is a solid center. Comfort as well. And then Calvert, Jost, and Donskoy. And then you got Salamaki, Dickinson, Bowers, and Kotz as your fill-in players on each three positions. This looks exciting. I look at this team and you see a lot of exciting players. You see, Nathan MacKinnon, who really puts up those numbers, and he's really going to, and him, Rantanen, the players on the defense as well, are really going to put a mockery in the NHL with this offense. And that's the thing, too. This offense has shown what they can do. A lot of these players that you wouldn't expect in other teams, that haven't done really successful in other teams, to do successful in this team. Joe Sakic, I know people get criticized for the moves he's done before, and 3 years ago they were a horrible team. 3 years ago they had 47 points, which was like a record lowest before Detroit came into the league. And that's amazing. It's amazing to see how in just 3 years you can overcome this, and that's an example to other teams too. Look at the Colorado Avalanche. Look at the teams like the Ottawa Senators. Well, not the Senators yet, but it's an example to other teams showing that look at these players. These players can put up the rights. These players can put up the intensity. These players are able to pull the team together. These GMs, you can do this. You can turn a team around in that aspect. Anyways, I rambled too much in that clip. Let's get into the defensive projected lineup that I have. So now on our defensive side of the lineups here, we have on the lefty side, I have them split by lefty and righty, by the way. On the lefty side, you have Taze, Cole, Gerard, and then you have Byram and Anderson as your fill-in players. On the righty side, you have Makar, Johnson, Graves, and then Timmins and Burroughs as your fill-in guys. That defense, not going to lie, that defense looks pretty good. You look at Taze and Makar, that's a very good top pairing. Ian Cole and Johnson, that also looks really good. Gerard and Graves, that's a really heavy-hitting for third pairing there. And then Byram, Anderson, Timmins, and Burroughs as your fill-in guys. I know Byram will definitely get a shot in there at some point. He just has to. So that defense looks great. And I said that Taze is a good offensive guy. Makar's Makar. Cole and Johnson make very good defensive plays, and Gerard and Graves, they make the hits. That's the incredible thing. So I look at this team and I find myself very impressed with the moves and their acquisitions that they've made. And again, it's things that teams can reflect off of. This team looks like a monsteristic team, and the goaltending is even better. And it's goaltenders that you wouldn't even expect too. That's the best part. And this defense really shows that, although the goaltender is really good, the defense does play a huge role in the Colorado Avalanche. Let's get into the goaltender projected lineup, which really, in all honesty, no one's surprised about this. So on the goaltender side of things here, there's really no surprise. You have Philip Grubauer as a starter and Pavel Francouz as your backup. That's just it. That's just the tweet right there. Grubauer and Francouz. Grubauer is mostly the one that you would expect. Grubauer, from Washington, but Francouz, name that you don't really know. And, Francouz proved to us that he is a monster. In the 2020 playoffs, I don't know why I said 2018. In the 2020 playoffs, Philip Grubauer got injured, out indefinitely. You know what Francouz did? He came in. He said, you know what? I'm going to prove to this team that our goaltending isn't the thing that's carrying us. And Francouz played incredible, and especially in that Dallas Stars series. In that Arizona series, Arizona didn't have much chances on Pablo Francouz, which is why he never let in much goals. But that Dallas Stars series, that was where it was. That was the insanity. I saw him making insane saves. Him and Anton Khudobin too. When we get to the Dallas Stars, we'll have that discussion, which is in 2 teams. But you know what I mean. And Francouz played very, very well. He made some saves that I thought to myself, even Grubauer. I don't even know if Grubauer could even do that. He probably could, but you know what I mean. So he's an amazing. He can prove himself as a starter. So if Grubauer goes out again, boom, there you go. And that's the thing with Colorado. Grubauer has already been a great starter. When Grubauer went to Colorado and Semyon Varlamov headed off to New York, I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? This ain't looking good. Because at the time, I didn't think Grubauer was ready for the starting role as a goaltender. And you know what? He proved to us that he can be one. So you have 2 starting goaltenders in the way I see it in this goaltending for the Colorado Avalanche. And finally, the moment we've all been waiting for, the playoff prediction. Do I think the Colorado Avalanche will make the 2021 Stanley Cup playoffs? Yes, I think anyone can say yes. No matter what division they're playing in all honesty, this team has the monstrosities and the assets to make it. And I think, in all honesty, I'd put them up there with Philadelphia. I put them up there with Vegas. I put them up there with a few other teams for cup contenders, for actual people that I can see winning a Stanley Cup. Philadelphia, cross off that list because they're not winning one. I can bet you $1,000 they won't win a Stanley Cup. They've choked every year. Well, no. I shouldn't be put that much hate on the Flyers, but that's for another video. Colorado is a monster team. I've been saying it all video. I will be saying it through all of next season. I will be saying it probably until they win the Cup, in all honesty, if they win the Cup. This team has great on-paper stats, and they look great off-paper. And although they relocated from Quebec, they're still very entertaining to watch. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, please go make sure to hit the subscribe button, as we are trying to get to 600 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you all for the constant support. 700 subscribers by the end of the year. I caught myself before y'all can call me out in the comments. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the Columbus Blue Jackets season preview.